So welcome back to another episode, and it has been 2 years since the Nintendo Switch launched in North America, and some might say it's been a small success. No, it's been a great success, and there's been a lot of amazing games come onto the platform, and I've played a load of them, and I want to come in here and give you my top 10 Switch games today. Now, I always have to say this, it's been 11 years of the show, but I always have to say this. This is just my top 10 list. This is not an official list. These are just my personal picks. I'm sure your picks will be a lot different. These are just games that I've really enjoyed and I had a lot of fun coming up with the top 10 list. I was like, oh, is it this game? Is it this game? I have a lot of fun making my lists and, checking it twice and saying, oh, no, maybe not this game, or this game kind of deserves it. Anyways, had a lot of fun there. So let's start off with number 10, and that is... I knew I was having a great time with this game. There's a lot of build-up towards this. A lot of people were hyped, and deservedly so. It was Doom. It was Doom. And the reason I knew this game was exciting for me and it lived up to the hype, I remember sitting in my car, and I'm sitting there playing this game, portably going, oh my god, I'm playing Doom. I'm blowing up all of these goddamn demons and blood and guts, and it's wonderful. And I'm just sitting in the car. And at that point, I was playing Doom Portable in a really great way. I already loved the game on the PS4. I thought it was probably, and I still think it's one of the best shooters ever made, first-person shooters. I think it's incredibly made. The level design, the monsters, the blood and guts. It's super fun. The music, it's over the top. And it came to the Nintendo Switch. I think it's a great success on the machine. I think it was also showing everybody that a great first-person shooter like Doom, a very adult-style game, could be on a Nintendo machine. Again, like Mortal Kombat was back in the day, coming onto a Nintendo machine was a big deal. Doom was a big deal. So when I was showing my Nintendo Switch collection a bunch of weeks back, this game came up, and I had to say, when I showed this game, I said, I remember when I reviewed it, I love the game. And everybody's going, oh, no, you're just saying that because you like Nintendo. And I was like, no, I like this game. I would never just say that. This game, as I said in there, it reminded me of a Dreamcast game. The same kind of playability, the same kind of excitement I was having. It kind of brought me back to the arcade days in this really unusual way that I thought this was going to be an indie budget title by Nintendo. I was not looking forward to it. I thought this looks silly. The characters look dumb. This is kind of gimmicky. Oh, they're attacking people with their arms. I thought this game was awesome. I played it online. I was seriously into it. I was taking it very, very seriously. And I played the one-player game, and I found myself going back to it. And I just loved using the Joy-Cons, shaking them back and forth to do your rapid punches. It was a very fulfilling feeling, and I really enjoy this. I know this sounds crazy to say, I have a lot of nostalgia about ARMS. Of all of the Nintendo Switch games, this music reminds me of about 2 years ago. And already, boom, it's 2 years back, ARMS came out. It was like in that launch window of that first bunch of months. And I didn't expect anything. And I remember when I played it, I thought, nah, this is going to be silly. And then I was like, oh my God, I really like this. And I really enjoyed playing this on the TV the most. But there was times when I had it in portable mode and I'm going, doing those rapid punches and having a great amount of fun. As I've always said, so many puns there, I'll let them go. This game had to be included, didn't it? There was no way it was not getting into this list. And I already played the PS4 version. I really enjoyed that. And obviously in the PS4 version, yes, everybody talks about it all the time. It's the only reason why I'm bringing it up. The frame rate is better. Yes, the graphics are better in the PS4 version. But this is such a wonderful port of a great, great action RPG, YZ8 The Lacrimosa of Donna. Now, this game is the number 8 in the E series, and I'm not gonna gatekeep you. There's no reason why you can't just jump into this game. You don't need to play all the rest of them. You just play as Adol, the main character. You jump in, just start, have fun. You wake up on a mysterious island. You don't know kind of where you are. And it's about you discovering what's around the island, who's washed up on shore with you, building up a town, building up a community, and discovering the secrets of this island. And there's some amazing secrets there to uncover. And I won't obviously ruin that for you, but I finished the PS4 version and I played quite a bit into this. I love it. I think for anybody who likes a Zelda style of game, you're really going to like this. It has a few small nitpicks, like a lot of characters really blabber on, the map system's not particularly perfect, but I think for me getting an action RPG on next generation consoles that is an ease game that was done this well, the monster designs, the world designs, the music alone is worth the investment. Highly recommend YZ8. Okay, next up is another game that got ported to a bunch of other machines as well. Why I'm picking this is because I played it so much that it defies the laws of physics in my mind that I play it this much. I love Street Fighter to death. I have a Street Fighter arcade machine. I bought this, I got a code initially for PS4, then I bought a PS4 physical copy, then I bought a Nintendo Switch version. And the Nintendo Switch version I played the most. I've often said the stories of how I go down to the park, and I sit in the park, and I bring a Pro Controller, and I play this game, and I play all of them, all the way from Street Fighter 1 up to the end games with Street Fighter 3. This is wonderful stuff. But if you've never experienced Street Fighter, and I know there's a bunch of people who've never played Street Fighter, isn't that crazy? This is a great way to get a collection. It's not too expensive. It's come down a bit in price. And there's so many games, so much value for your buck. I'm saying this, the young John back in the early 90s, if you had given this to me back then on a Nintendo Switch, I would have passed out and cried and died because I wouldn't have believed that one day there'd be one little cartridge this big with all of the Street Fighter games I was playing in the arcades back then. And I couldn't have believed it, and I'd be like, oh my god, I'd be a popular guy in the neighborhood if I had that back then. But definitely check it out. It's a wondrous collection of games. Okay, the next game kind of came out of nowhere. I must admit I played the demo and I was not impressed. I can say that, I wasn't impressed. I thought, oh, Square Enix is just cashing in on my nostalgia for 16-bit, 32-bit RPGs. They're cashing in on the look of that, and the super deformed characters, and the combat style. And so I played the demo, and I don't know, I didn't really like the demo. Then I got the full game, and over that week, I played and finished this game, and that is Octopath Traveler. I spent 80 hours on this game alone. It is incredible. The characters, all the different characters you can pick, all the different storylines you can go on. The combat is a return to turn-based combat of my youth. Yeah, is it a cash-in on that? Yes. But is it an incredible combat system? Absolutely. Phenomenal. So much customization there with your characters. The music is godlike. It is godlike. I can't say enough about Octopath Traveler and how much I love this music. It's unbelievable. It's the best soundtrack of last year, I swear to God, for me personally. And it's an RPG like Romancing Saga, like Final Fantasies of the past. There's a great difficulty there for people, and yeah, just a lot of grinding. It's an old school RPG. If you're in the mood for something like this, you can't go wrong with Octopath Traveler. I'm still going on. My next one's about an RPG as well. A small little RPG that came out of nowhere. The shock of this one still to me is how soon after the Nintendo Switch launched that this game came out. I couldn't believe we were getting a next-gen RPG exclusive to the Nintendo Switch, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Wow. Sorry, this is a Steelbook version. That's the game's in there as well. I was looking forward to this game, but at the same time I had to play it. I'm like, is this going to live up to the hype? Is this, because there's a lot of hype around it. I started playing it and I'm like, I fell in love with the characters, I fell in love with the world, the combat, the design aesthetics, the music is really great in this one as well. It took me back to like Skies of Arcadia, I said that before. I think this is a really fleshed out RPG with a lot in it. By Monolith. They've done an amazing job with the world building in here. Obviously, they helped world build The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and it shows. This world setting is incredible, and this game is really high up there as one of the RPGs I love the most. And I say that in the future, I wonder how they're going to top it. I wonder if there's going to be like a Nintendo Switch Pro in the future for this game, for a sequel to this game. We'll have to wait and see, but high recommendation if you're into RPGs. Definitely check that out. The next game is a fun one. This one could destroy marriages. It could break up people as friends for life. You'll have swearing competitions that you won't even imagine could be possible in your living room. And that is for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Yes, a port of the Wii U version, but with a battle mode and all the DLC in this version. This is the greatest Mario Kart game ever devised, ever carried out, and my God, can this make you scream at whoever you're playing with when they pass you or they hit you with that blue shell? Oh my God, in battle mode, I was losing my mind. I was so frustrated playing against some of my friends, JKB, Victor Lucas. I was losing my mind. I'm somebody who gets very competitive in video games, and this is the game that is the greatest competition style of game that exists. I swear to God. This is amazing. A racing game that can drive you nuts. As soon as you're near the end, you slip on a banana peel, get hit by a blue shell, and you are cursing the gods. You're cursing the gods, but at the same time, you're having a really great time. And I think Mario Kart 8 is one of my favorite racing kart games of all time. They perfected it. I you know, thinking for the future, I don't know how they'll pass it. I don't think they really need to right now because they got it so right here. Oh my God, I will never forget the lineup. I went down to the lineup. There was a lineup at EB Games for this game at 9 o'clock at night here in Vancouver. And there were so many people with their shirts off and they were wearing Mario Cappy hats. And I'm like, what have I wandered into? Yes, it was the launch of this little game here, Super Mario Odyssey. The next generation Mario game. I was like so thrilled, and I had already played it a week earlier. I was very lucky to get an early review copy, and I was playing it, and I was so excited for the world because I was like, wait till they get a load of this. They're not going to believe it. It's the Mario that we've been waiting for. And when I talked about my Nintendo Switch collection games, I said, you know, it was a real spiritual successor to Mario 64. Yes, I think Galaxy did it quite well as well, but I think Mario Odyssey fulfilled it the way I've always wanted it fulfilled since, you know, Mario 64 did it back in the day. It did it so well. Mario Odyssey's level design, the music, the fun factor, the weirdness with the human characters in there as well. It was so strange, so satisfying, and so wondrous. This is like such a high recommendation for me. If you, like my nephew got his Nintendo Switch last Christmas, and I said to my sister, you have to get him Mario Odyssey. You have to, because I swear every younger person should be, you know, able to play a Mario game and experience that wonder and excitement. Even if you don't like Nintendo, you still have to respect Mario and what it has done and accomplished over the years. It is really a fun series of games, and they did a great job with Odyssey. The Cappy mechanics, throwing your hats. Great world designing there as well. So wonderful. Next up this is my number two. My number two. What I'm going to say about this one is this. Going in, I was looking forward to it. I've always liked the fan service of this series, but I don't play it as a serious fighting game. I don't really have friends come over and we all play it. We don't really do that with this game. I buy it for the fan service, where I bought it for the fan service. I start to play it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to get too into this, I don't think. I started playing it. I got absolutely hooked on this game. I had to unlock everything you could unlock, all the characters, everything. This is a fighting game, and I'm going to say something extraordinary here. I think it's the best crossover fighting game in history ever made, and that is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I say that very easily just because of the amount of characters. I can have Cloud with Ken, with Snake, with Bayonetta. That's one of the teams. I mean, think about that. Think about that roster of characters that are all together. We're going back to younger John again. When I was younger, I couldn't have even begin to imagine Cloud next to Snake, next to Ken, and then you throw in Bayonetta. what? This is possible? Yes, this is possible, and then some. The combination of characters from so many different universes coming together in such a wonderful way, and so much fun. I think with this release of the game, and I played them all and I own them all, it's made me appreciate Smash Brothers in a way that I haven't in the past. I've enjoyed all the games, but this one's really made me realize what it's really all about. And what a great sense of fun this is. And what a great job Nintendo has done bringing all these characters from all these different companies and all these different universes together and balancing that as much as they could even do that. And then throwing in all of the levels. I mean, the amount of levels in there and all of the music. The music alone, like, oh my God, there's so much great stuff in this game to discover that for the price of the game, this should be like a $300 game for the amount of content you're getting. And you're getting a lot of content. And then never mind if you do have friends that you play this with. I have a lot of friends that play this all the time, and they just think it's one of the greatest fighting games of all time. I'm there with them. I think it's the best cross fighting game of all time. Street Fighter's still one of my favorite fighting series, but you can't knock Smash Brothers for what they've done. I think they've done an amazing job. Now we reach the end of my list, and I think a lot of people know what my number one game is for anybody who's been here for a long period of time. Even with some of you who've been here for a short period of time may know what my favorite game is. And I think you know. And we have to go back 2 years ago. I went into a forest, and I went there with my shield, my Hyrulean shield, and my master sword. I set it up in a forest, of all things, and I made an outrageous claim that Zelda Breath of the Wild was a 10 out of 10 game. And people are like losing their mind in the comments going, what? Are you for real? Because it's very rare I say a game's a 10 out of 10 game. Very rare. People are like, is he for real saying this? And then people say, he's being paid by Nintendo. No, because behind the scenes, I was playing the game early, and we were quite far into the game at that point. I was playing with Victor Lucas, and I came over to his place in the morning. Let's give a bit of a backstory. And he was far, far into the game. And I sat there on the couch next to him, and I was watching him play this game, and it was absolutely wondrous. I was like, this is incredible. And it reminded me, it took me back to being a 13 to 14-year-old kid again, going over to a friend's place, knocking on the door, and then having the latest game, coming in and experiencing it and being blown away. It was that moment again. And then I got my copy and started playing into it. And it was everything that I ever wanted in a video game, everything I wanted in a Zelda game, everything I didn't know I wanted, I got. Perfection. Still to this day, perfection. Zelda, Breath of the Wild, I think you already knew that. Unbelievable game. I could talk about this game for hours and hours and hours. The world building, I still cannot believe the world that they designed and how there's so much stuff to do within the world. Going from point A to point B to point C, how much stuff is in between all those bits. And how you never run out of things to do, and you never run out of excitement and fun and exploration, and you always feel like a kid exploring the world, and there's a really great sense of exploration and a little bit of apprehension of where you're going next, and oh my God, what's around that corner, and what is this giant maze place I'm in, and I love it. The game does not hold your hand. It just throws you into the world and it says, get on with it, man. Get on with it. Figure it out. And I told you before, there was a time where I was like, I turned to my wife and I said, I don't think I can play this game. And she's like, why? I said, because it's just too vast. I feel like a needle in a haystack. I mean, I don't know where I'm supposed to go and what I'm supposed to do. I don't know where I should be sticking to, what mission I should be doing. It's one of those things. But in figuring it out my own way was what made it so incredible. Everybody plays that game differently. Nobody plays it the same. And that to me is the strength of the game. I've often said there was one night when I played the game and I went off into a mountain and I climbed this tower thing to the, when I was fighting monsters and I was losing my weapons and I was running out of stuff and I got to the top and I was like, what's going to be at the top? It was this big build up and there was nothing at the top. And that was why this game was the perfect game for me. I went on this huge quest. I didn't know what was in this towery, ruiny area. I climbed all the way to the top as much as I could because I thought there'd be something at the top. There wasn't. It was just a ruin. What? It's like, that's how cool the world was. I was exploring it. Maybe something wondrous was there. Maybe I missed it. Maybe there was something, that was my own exploration and my own adventure that night. And everybody's adventure in that game is completely different. And that is why it's a 10 out of 10 game for me without question. And I have the afterglow 2 years later of Breath of the Wild. It's a perfect game. And I look forward to future Zelda games using that physics engine. I'm expecting a much darker Zelda game for the next one. That's just my hunch. I don't know. I haven't heard anything behind the scenes. That's just kind of my gut feeling with it. Like, kind of remember when they went from Ocarina of Time to Majora's Mask, and that I had that feeling they're going to go that way with the next one, but you never know. So, guys, that is my top 10 list here. What is your top 10 list? Let me know down below. So, anyways, guys, until next time.